Yo, Tony B here with a mega micro review stack. Another stack of Independence, one of my favorites. So the micro reviews kind of give you some deets on some books maybe you don't know anything about, maybe you want to learn a bit, maybe you're on the fence, maybe you're undecided. Hopefully this information helps you out. So we'll kick it off with Mercy Sparks. Totally dug this cover. That's why I bought it. Heard some good things about it from a few people, and it's definitely mature content. It's kind of funny. The cover price is $5.55. It's what you expect. It's a mature content oriented. I didn't get much of a taste for the character or really what she is, what she's about. I mean, it's obviously she's like a devil, but in human form. There wasn't much info there. I really didn't get hooked in. I could see people that would get into this type of stuff. There's some horror related into it. So it's like a horror comedy, I would say. Not really my taste. Totally dig the cover. I'm glad I have it, because that is a very wicked cover. But hey, man, you might be into something like that. Like what you love what you like. Kicking it off. Even better, Hyde Street. Fantastic anthology horror book. It is, I always say, it's the evolution of what horror should be. It's fantastic, man. Jeff Johns, Ivan Rice, they're killing it with this one. So this issue, you have Pranky, he's this little character there. Him and this character, Mr. X-Ray, they're kind of at odds with each other. If you don't know anything about Hyde Street, it's like a purgatory. It's a very mysterious place that people end up when there's some kind of internal struggle or they've done something wrong. Not necessarily bad, but it's that mysterious place that I think it's really like our subconscious, where, you end up, and it's not really a game, but it's once you convert so many souls, you can leave Hyde Street. And these characters, there's a bunch of characters that participate in this, and there is a leaderboard. Pranky has met his quota, but he doesn't want to leave. That's how evil he is. But right now, Pranky took a mask from Mr. X-Ray, and it's stuck on his face. So this issue, this is really crazy right here. So you end up with, here's a good example. This guy just kind of ends up on Hyde Street, and he did something terrible. It's like he's confessing. So he goes into this place. She's one of the players. And she sees that, it's pretty much a greed thing, ruined a bunch of lives, and he just wants out, right? And there is no way out. Yeah, it's pretty good. I totally dig it as a horror anthology. So Pranky's stuck in this mask. He doesn't know how to get it off. And so he has to go to Mr. X-Ray to figure it out. So there's some comedy here. There's levity. So that's what this issue is about. More development between them two. And we've been introduced to this character. There's also a standalone issue called Devour that she is in. So as time goes on, you're introduced to more people, and then you're introduced to these nurses in here, and it's really odd. It's like there's a hospital on Hyde Street, but it's not what you think. So to get that mask off, Mr. X-Ray has taken Pranky to this guy, and it's crazy. Yeah, that's great artwork. So, I think I've given you enough of the deets where you get it. You know what I mean? It's a good ride. It really is. It's great horror. It's serious horror. It deals with a lot of internal struggle type issues that people that do bad things probably go through. Like I said, I think Hyde Street is really your subconscious. But moving on. This is fantastic. The Invisible Man, James Tynion. Another hitter, man. Another hitter. The artwork is fantastic. Danny Simpson. It totally matches the tone of the book. I love that simple type artwork. So, I mean, this is your story of the Invisible Man, the whole, it is what it is type horror. And it's done so well, just like that whole, that like 1940s vibe. And chapter 1 delves into how the formula was developed. And it's really interesting. It's a great origin story for the Invisible Man. This is probably how maybe the book that was actually written, how it followed. I think I'd have to research some more. But it's about that, and it's also about how this formula, it doesn't just make you invisible, it changes your perception and your attitude. So you're introduced to that, and you're introduced to the ambitions of the character that becomes the Invisible Man. So this is another kind of like Hyde Street, like ambition driving someone to somewhere not great, probably. We'll see. But I highly recommend that. Even if you're not into horror, this seems like a very good story. Everything Dead and Dying. This, I'm going to call it, this is the next Walking Dead. I truly believe that. Met a guy named Alan in the comic shop. He clued me in on it, and I went ahead. I bought 2 copies because I believe this is going to be one of those runs where you're going to regret if you didn't get issue A, number 1. But it's totally has the vibes of The Walking Dead. Even the artwork. It may be the same artist. I don't know. I have to look and see. So what you're introduced to is this character that he's immune to the typical plague or whatever's going on making people the undead, right? It's like a flu. It's a very basic explanation, but that's all you need for this story. He's immune to it. He's immune to being bit, to being scratched, anything. So what he has done is he is living with the undead. It's really their world now, and he's just operating in it. And it's almost like it's like an agreement that they have. So he has a husband and a child, which succumbed to that flu. So it starts off pretty much all sunshine and daisies. And man, it gets to where you're slowly introduced into this hellish world that he's in. And it's a slow introduction. You get these back and forths like this, and you think, oh, that's your typical, oh God, run, it's the undead, run. But he doesn't have to do that. He's immune, like totally immune, and they're not trying to hurt him. So there's like this transition into this hellish world where it's almost like he's in some kind of trance, like he's mentally broke, where he really believes everything is okay. But that's just on the surface in his mind. But it's really, you get these fantastic back and forth shots like this right here, where the mailman actually does show up, but it's just out of memory, maybe muscle memory. So the dead are doing, that typical muscle memory thing where they're going about whatever they remember they did. And he's living with them. It's pretty much a fresh take on the undead genre. So yeah, you slowly start seeing this world that he's really in from what he's imagining. It's great. He even he goes to his farm, and even this kid is one of the undead, and that's what's fresh about it, is he can walk amongst them with no negativity, or they don't try to rip him apart, there's like a symbiotic relationship there now. It's pretty fresh. So he's doing his farming, And you just slowly, things get darker. Great use of color. And you get introduced. Yeah, that's what it really is. Besides what he's imagining. I think he's just mentally broke. Yeah, and it just gets even, the reality is just slowly unfolded on you in a manner where it's a perfect pace for a first issue to just introduce you to the mental horror that this guy's in. Even the animals succumb to it. So that's another fresh take. It's not just humans. This is something else. I'm telling you, this is the next Walking Dead. If you're a speculator, you need to like get 2 copies of issue A. I would totally not pass up on this one. I remember when The Walking Dead came out, and I was like, oh, I'm not getting into that, being a contrarian like I am. I'm kind of breaking myself of that habit. I'm getting better about spotting things out. Plus, I'm getting better at like seeing things better, clear. Yeah, and he just like, all he's got is himself to talk to. So, yeah, it's very grim. And he's talking with, I think this is a friend. And you see, how he's talking. Maybe this was something they talked about in the past. And what they talk about really matters. It's not just filler. And it's like that. Like, I mean, they just hang out with him. And so you get where he wakes up, there's disturbance going on. And like, this is really crazy where like the mailman shows up and he's like, you're early. And it's like, spoiler, bam, there's people that show up. What a great way to end. So there's other survivors and they show up, and now it's like, what now? So definite cliffhanger. Highly recommend this. If you're into the undead genre, get on it. Don't hesitate. You'll regret it. It's going to turn into a hit. I mean, how much more of The Walking Dead can we take? You know what I mean? Except something fresh and new. Totally dig it. Terminator. Totally love the Terminator. This series has really been delivering with Shalvey. He does the writing, does a bunch of the covers, Sparrow on the artwork. It matches the tone of the book. It's each issue is really a piece to a puzzle. So you really need to have every issue or read a trade paperback to get the full benefit, the full story, because each little thing each issue is part of a big puzzle to what's unraveling. And it's a great ride. If you're a hardcore Terminator fan, definitely get it. But like I said, you're gonna need every issue because each one is a story that's part of a bigger story. And this one right here, I'll give you an example. This one, we're introduced to John Connor, and I believe he's killed in this, and then they have to go back in time, and you're introduced to more things like this. Every picture here is from a previous issue. So it's a great ride. If you like puzzly type books, this would be a great book for you. At first, I didn't know what was going on when I started reading issue 1 and moving forward. And then I was like, oh, this is a huge puzzle. Got it. Also, if you like action, a lot of action. There's a lot of time travel, a lot of different periods in time that make up this puzzle. It's really cool. We'll do this one first. Scorched, it always delivers for me. I'm a Spawn fan, so I enjoy it. There's a lot of horror going on in this. If you're a horror fan, you'll love this. It has that horror vibe. And it's a team book, but it's a dark team book. So you have a female Spawn and her team, and more is being revealed with one of the characters that is called the Reaper. He is actually occupying the same time and space as his younger self, and this issue explains some more of that. You're not giving the answer. They're making it where, they're not spoon feeding you the answers, is what I'm saying. And it ends with they're at a funeral. No. It's an opening of these houses, and this demon reveals itself, and it's actually his father, the person that we're getting more and more information about. His father shows up as a demon, and you're not quite sure. He was abusive. And they start battling, and that's really where it ends. Oh, it ends where he reveals his team of evil. And it's really previous issues built up on each one of these characters, and now they're combined to where you're probably going to have a Donnybrook, a huge fight. Hardcore Spawn fans, you should be reading Scorched. If you like teen books with the horror vibe, you can get on that. You can jump in anytime. Anytime is a good time. Last but not least, we have news from the Fallout. I totally dig this one because of the artwork. It's very simple, minimalist. There's a lot of profiles used, and it's just, it totally fits the tone of the book. The simpler you get, the more beautiful it really is. And you're kind of, so what they'll do is, what happened was there was a nuclear test, and it created, I don't think they're the undead. It's almost like they're, if you've seen that movie Rabid, or gosh, what's that? The Crazies. It's more like the Crazies, or maybe 28 Days Later, the Rage Virus. Probably more like the Rage Virus. You know, it's left up to interpretation. That's cool too. I dig stuff like that. And these guys, you know, there's a lot of friction in the holdout that they're in. Like all typical books like that, people end up in one place, and then there's arguing, and then there's a lot of turmoil, and they do a really good job, the writer does. And it turns out bad, as you can see, for somebody. Great use of just this black and white, sketchy, smudgy type. It's really good. It's really unique. It's a fresh take as far as rendering goes. So, and then you get introduced to one of these, I don't know if we call them Rage Virus, but one of these zombies that is pretty smart. It actually can talk. It may be a demon, or I don't know, but it's actually talking. So you're introduced to another layer of what these entities are. These I'm calling them Rage Viruses, but you're getting more pieces to the puzzle. What makes it cool is it's another one of those where you're just not spoon-fed. I can't stand that. I don't need all the answers. I like to figure it out, use my own imagination, but there you go, man. Not a bad indie pile. Man, I'm telling you, this one right here, great. Hyde Street's always great. Mercy Sparks, I don't know, but you know what? Get it.